Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be mass producing some thank you cards using some simple embossed backgrounds and lots of die cutting. I kept these cards fairly simple with just a little hint of color. I did create matching envelopes for each of these cards. Today I created 6 cards, all very similar to each other. You could use them as a bundle and gift it to a loved one, or use them individually and send out some beautiful thank you notes to your friends and family. Before we go ahead and take a look at all the products, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. Let's get started. Well, here's a look at all the products that I will be using for our cards today. This one here is the Simple Greetings die set from Altenew. This set comes with 4 sets of greetings perfectly sized to nestle between your images. Each greeting has a word die and a shadow die perfect to add depth to our greeting. For today's video, I will be using the thank you word and the shadow dies. I'll be using the rest of these greetings in a future video. Next, I have this beautiful 3D embossing folder called Regency Swirls by Crafter's Companion. This is a very beautiful, intricate embossing folder that I received along with my Gemini Junior starter kit. I will be using this to create our embossed background panels for each of the 6 cards that I will be creating today. Let's begin creating our cards. First, let's work on the background panel. Here I have an 80-pound white cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, a little smaller than an A2 size card. I run the embossing folder and the paper sandwich through my die cutting machine and look at how beautiful my background panel looks. I love the detailed texture on this panel. Now here's something that I like to do when I'm creating multiple cards or when I'm mass producing cards with the same design. I like to do each of the steps at the same time for each card. Just like I did here, I went ahead and used my embossing folder on all of the 6 white note cards, and there I have 6 embossed background panels ready to go onto my card front. For our cards today, I decided to leave the background simple and not add a lot of color. Instead, I cut out the word die using different colors of cardstock. The first one here is in the shade of orange. I do have reds, blues and greens too. For the shadow die, I used the same white cardstock that I used to create my panel from. Again, I kept this die cut very simple and did not add any dimension to these. Initially, I planned to just stick the greeting onto the background panel. Well, then I thought it would be fun to add just a little pop of color to this panel. So I went ahead and chose a distress ink that matched with the color of the thanks greeting. Here I'm using Spice Marmalade, which is a beautiful orangish shade, very close to the orange on our greeting. Again, I'm not looking for any perfection here. All I'm doing is blending some ink around where I plan on adhering my greeting. Once I'm satisfied with the blending and the positioning of the color and the greeting, I went ahead and stuck the thanks greeting onto the embossed background panel using some thin strips of foam tape. This is a very thin foam tape, so it won't add much of a bulk to my card. If you prefer flat cards, you could adhere the sentiments using either double-sided tape or liquid glue. I repeated the same background blending on all of my backgrounds. I did the exact same ink blending on all of the embossed panel and adhered the sentiments on them. The list of all the distress inks and the card panels that I used to cut out the greetings from will be listed in the description box below. For all our cards today, I used an A2 size white top folding card base. I adhered these panels using some foam tape for some extra dimension. Here's a look at all the finished cards. I love the assortment of colors that I see here. Here we have the 6 cards ready to go. But before we mail it out, I thought we could add a little extra special for the inside of these cards. I used the mini daisy stamp set from Altenew and stamped it on a white panel with the same exact distress ink which is on the card front, and then adhered the panels onto the inside of our cards using strong double-sided tape. I did the same with all the other panels. In the beginning, I did mention that I have envelopes for each of these cards. A little secret here, I created the envelopes before creating the cards and then used the scraps that were left out from these envelopes to die cut the thanks greeting. So that's definitely a good way not only to match your envelopes to the inside of your cards, but also making use of the little scraps in your stash. Well, nothing must go into the trash bin. I use the same stamp set and the word thank you sentiment for my envelopes. To finish our cards, I added sparkle on the greeting using my Spectrum Noir glitter brush pens and then added some dots of the Gold Coast Nouveau glitter drops. Once these dry, we can put these cards in the envelopes and they will be ready to be sent out. Here's a look at my finished card. I did the exact same thing with the glitter brush pen and the Nouveau drops to all my other cards. I love the color and the texture on all of these cards. I really loved how this project turned out. This was a fairly simple card to create and a very easy one to mass produce. You could use different embossing folders and backgrounds and sentiments to recreate this project. Well, I hope you had fun watching today's video and got inspired. Tag me on my Instagram at rp_shutterbug with fun pictures of your projects. Also, mention your thoughts about today's video and some card ideas and techniques that you would like to see in the future video in the comment section below. Thanks again for joining me today. I would love for you to become a subscriber to my channel, and if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that bell icon so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple of other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much. See you again in my next video. Until then, stay safe.